Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is a quick guide for the journal entry for Pearl Harbor. I just wanted to point out a couple of things quickly so you'll be successful in this assignment. It's located in journals. It says Pearl Harbor speech. And here are the instructions. It says using the rhetorical analysis planning guide in your notes, complete the steps from the planning guide on the wiki, which we've already done, and then draft a partial analysis of Roosevelt's speech by addressing the following prompt. And the prompt reads, analyze the rhetorical strategies Roosevelt uses to convince the nation to declare war on Japan. So, that is what you are trying to answer in your response. How does he convince us to declare war? For the purpose of this journal entry, you only have to write an introductory paragraph and a body paragraph. You can write the first body paragraph, the second body paragraph. It really doesn't matter, whichever paragraph you're most comfortable with. And it does explain that the two paragraphs should be approximately 500 words minimum. And again, its journals are private. I will be the one reading these, and I hope to offer you some advice and suggestions which will help you with the essay, which is coming up. Now, one thing I want to point out is that we need to learn how to embed our textual evidence properly. We can't just plop a sentence or two in the middle of a paragraph, and I want to point out a couple of documents that will help you with that. And also, it says to use formal diction and proper grammar and mechanics, and so please keep that in mind. You need to write in present tense. We are not going to say I in this essay, or you, and we'll use elevated language. So, quickly, let me show you there's two resources that will help you embed textual evidence properly. The first one is called the Pearl Harbor Sandwich. You can use this sandwich strategy for any essay, but I've written it specifically for Pearl Harbor. Often, students are doing this. It's a hit-and-run quotation, or what I like to call plop and drop. They take a sentence, or two sentences, or three sentences, and just plop them in the middle of a paragraph. Well, that's not good writing, and so I use this analogy with sandwich. A properly embedded quotation needs three pieces, just like a sandwich. You have your top slice of bread, which is your lead-in. You're naming the person, describing the situation. And then you have your meat right here, which is just the important parts of the quotation. Not the entire quotation, just the pieces of it that are essential to analysis. And then finally, you would have your bottom slice of bread, which is your lead out, and you offer some insight or commentary. And I've put examples of each piece here. For the top slice, I said, as Roosevelt describes his relationship between the United States and Japan. My meat is right here. It says, I'm taking this quotation, and I'm only going to use at peace with that nation and still in conversation. And so that's the part of the quotation that I'm going to use. And then right here, my bottom slice of bread is laid out, where I offer a little bit of insight. Roosevelt emphasizes the deceit. And here is my delicious sandwich all put together. As Roosevelt describes the relationship between the United States and Japan, he asserts that the U.S. believes itself at peace and still in conversation with Japan to emphasize the deceit of the Empire of Japan. Now, one thing that I notice here that it's a little repetitive with Japan, and so I would definitely edit that out later. But this is a decent sandwich for now. I would fix it up in my essay. It is nicely embedded. It's not just plopped. That's one strategy, one way. Another way is these notes are in your poetry notes, and it says analyzing poetry. This is connecting device to meaning, and so this has specific elements. Let's say you're talking about diction. It's a template. Now again, you don't want to use this word for word. It's not a straitjacket. It's just a guide. And so this will help you. Let's say you're trying to discuss some of Roosevelt's diction. You could use this. The phrase, for example, in his speech, he uses the word deliberately quite a bit. And so you would say the word deliberately describing Japan's negotiations suggest, okay, So this is a guide. It has ways to embed diction, imagery, simile, metaphor, personification, syntax, allusions, and so please feel free to use this to help you properly embed your quotations. Now, it's a very simple assignment. You will go to the journals, create a journal entry, and give it a nice title, and write your response, introductory paragraph, and the body paragraph. Now, you may wish to even open up the class page under another tab. For example, you can have the wiki open as you are writing your response. You can have it right next to your response, and so you can see some of the notes that you've made or see how it's divided. You know, this is the way I divided it, was the first part of the speech, so I would just write about this in my body. Maybe somebody else has come along and divided this into a second part of the speech because they've noticed all this repetition, and so that could be a body that you write. And then if you separate these like this, you can have the wiki next to your response as you're writing. And that's just one little helpful tip, that may help you with this. And I think that's it. If you have any questions or problems, please do not hesitate to email me. And good luck.